Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day so far. I'm going to talk to you about why I personally think buying a home beats renting in today's market conditions. But before I do that, I would like to just introduce myself since this is my first video I've made. My name is Mason Davis and I am 20 years old. I have lived in Utah my whole life. I love cars and weightlifting. I am very fortunate to have some amazing people in my life. I also trade in the stock market and will make some videos on that in the near future. I sold cars for a while, but I learned that I'm not really a high pressure person. I just want to help people make the best choices for themselves. My goal is to provide as much value as I can. So let's talk about the pros with both buying and renting. There's good and bad to both sides, so I'll show them. What's good about renting is it's a lot easier of a process. It's easy enough in Utah where you don't even need an agent to represent you. In some states where the majority of living places are for rent only, kind of like New York, it can change. It's also cheaper to get into as well as out of a rented property. There isn't a settlement like there is with purchases. Landlords usually pay for the repairs as well as the utilities. Renting is a good short term, but will cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars as the years add up. Some of the best things about buying a property are equity, ownership, achievement, and appreciation. When you're renting, your monthly payment goes into the landlord's pocket. While you're doing a monthly payment on a home loan, you'll keep the principal paid and only lose the interest paid. So let's say, for easy purposes, you got a $100,000 home loan, and after 5 years, you paid off $20,000 of it. You'll have $20,000 in equity. So let's say in those 5 years, the property appreciated to a value of $110,000, and you list and sell it for a list price of $110,000. With that difference of $30,000, you'll be able to pay all the closing costs and keep the rest. And finally, ownership. Let's be honest, it is a big deal being a homeowner, especially now more than ever. It should definitely be something you're proud of and make a lasting impact in your neighborhood you're in. So now we're going to talk about some of the downsides you'll see with both buying and renting, and you'll see just how much more severe the downsides of renting are. With buying, it is a bigger commitment, which is both a good and a bad. I personally think it's good to have some responsibility, but it could get overwhelming. There's usually a more expensive monthly payment, but remember, it has the ability to build equity, which in terms you can kind of use as long-term wealth. And it takes longer to get in and out of a home, and it usually costs more. Like, you'll need an agent to represent you. There's a lot of repair costs. There's stuff like that that usually doesn't happen with a rental property. But now here's some of the worst with renting. With renting, you're at the mercy of the landlord. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard the stories of where tenants get kicked out for seemingly no reason, but the landlords are basically entitled to. They just have to give notice. And not all landlords are bad. I'm not saying that, but most are good. But there's always that one chance that you can be stuck in a terrible situation where you only have a small notice to scramble to find another place. And there's no real equity being built just because the monthly payment is usually going towards the landlord's loan on the property, which is building him equity, but not you equity. So I mean, that you might as well just get your own equity. So we're going to just look at two examples today of the cost of buying versus renting. And you'll kind of see where the break evens are and which one's going to be more beneficial for you if you're going to end up staying short term or long term. In this example, I'll be using the average sale price in Utah during Q3 of 2020, which is $350,000, and the average rent price in Utah as of 2020, which is $1,235. Just after 10 years, you will save money getting a home loan versus just renting month to month. This is an example more skewed towards previous home buyers, as $350,000 is a more than decent home, especially for a first-time home buyer. That you probably wouldn't do that. So we'll kind of look at a more first-time home buyer experience in the next example. So in this second example, I've lowered the home price to $175,000 and made the monthly rent $700, a more first-time kind of experience, kind of just getting out of college or starting your real career. Just after 6.5 years, your home will start saving you money and you'll be able to use the equity you're building as a down payment for the home of your dreams in the future. I mean, that sounds perfect. I hope I was able to show you my thought on this subject and got you a little bit more excited to be a homeowner. If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in Utah, feel free to contact me today. If you are but not in Utah, I'll be able to point you in the right direction. Take care.